Number 8 and captain, James Letta. Number 9, Malbassa. Number 12, Lachlan McGrath. 17, Martin Fernandez. 18, Charlie Ragg. 21, Sebastian Maifara. 23, Thomas Mako. And number 47, Ethan Bevan. On the bench this afternoon for the SD Raiders are number 5, Jet McHugh-Shaw. Number 10, Luka Knezovic. Number 15, Matthew Lee. Number 19, Riley Cox Barlow. 22, Jonathan Sebhatu. Number 37, Robert Eramogu. And number 40, William Lucas. For your home team this afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, Sydney United, the starting lineup is in goal, number 1, Adam Pavlicic. Number 3, Bailey Rule. 6, Dylan Rose. 10, Carlos de Oliveira. 14, Liam McGinn. 17, Michael Glasick. 19, Michael Kuslovic. 21, Koya Nakano. 23, Mason Wells. 35, Tomislav Ozanic, and number 44, Farah Coco. On the bench this afternoon for the home side are number 7, Leroy Jennings, number 8, Tomoki Wada, 9, Carl Cementi, 12, Gabriel Tillo, 16, Anthony Krilic, 30, Joshua Azzi, and number 41, Adrian Jamie Buzina. Ladies and gentlemen, we do hope you enjoy this afternoon's fixture. And let's hope for a home victory for the Sydney United 58 Football Club, who are currently in 3rd position on the Football New South Wales NPL ladder. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for your attendance. And let's go Sydney United!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Sydney United Sports Centre. It is round 20 in the NPL Men's New South Wales competition. Sydney United 58 host the SD Raiders here on a beautiful Sunday afternoon. We'll get straight into the team lineups and then we'll talk some stats and team news for both of these two teams. For Sydney United, they have 3 changes from their league game last Friday against Manly United. In goals remains number 1, Adam Pavlicic. Number 3, Bailey Rule. Number 6, Dylan Rose. Number 10, Carlos De Oliveira. Coming into the team, number 14, Liam McGing. Number 17, Michael Glassick, also into the starting lineup. Number 19, Michael Krislovic. Number 21, Claire Nakano, back in the starting 11. Number 23, Mason Wells. Number 35, Tomislav Ozanic. And number 44, Farah Koko. For the visiting SD Raiders, well, they've been a little busier. 5 changes from their very good away victory against Rockdale Illingdon last week. Coach Goran Ljubaya bringing in Mihail Marčić, Jakov Malboša, Marty Fernandez, Thomas Mako and Ethan Bevan all into the starting team. Michael Figueroa keeps his place in goals. Cooper Hannigan, James Leder, Lockie McGrath, Charlie Ragg and Sebastian Malfarra all in the squad as they were last weekend against Rockdale. These two teams also both had to contend with cup fixtures midweek. SD Raiders beaten away against RPA Leichhardt by 4-2. And despite the result looking very one-sided, in particular at one point in the game, it was anything but that. SD gave a very good account of themselves, and perhaps they'll feel a little hard done by the amount of chances they missed in that game. Sydney United also were in action on Wednesday night, but you sort of feel it was somewhat unnecessary. They were pushed to an extra time semi-final against Sydney Olympic. They were leading 2-0 in complete control, and they sort of allowed their opponent to come in and take advantage, scoring 2 late goals. But United once again awoke in extra time and piled on 3 goals in the extra 30 minutes to come away with a 5-2 win. Last touch there by Bailey Rule, wearing the captain's armband. Under pressure here early is Lockie McGrath, who didn't play midweek, was out with illness. Actual 5 changes as well from the midweek game, so Goran Ljubaya really mixing things up for his team. United 4 players didn't start on Wednesday night. They were Koko, Ozanic, Krislovic and McGing. But Miroslav Stelica choosing to obviously rotate the squad much less than his opposing number in the other dugout. We are trying to utilise the maximum amount of players that he has at his disposal to ensure his team is fresh. Here's Marty Fernandez into the feet of Marčić, who's robbed of possession, and one played forward for Krislovic to chase down and crosses in. It's a decent ball, no one arriving at the back post, and Ethan Bevan has time to claim the ball, find the feet of Marčić. Malfarra also got the Wednesday night off. Forward to Malboša. Coming through is Marty Fernandez, and these are the spaces Fernandez loves. Has a go, blocked. Half cleared. Well, De Oliveira gets there ahead of Thomas Mako playing against his former team. He was a member of Sydney United last year. Flicked over the top for Malbasha to chase, and wouldn't he love to grab a goal against Sydney United? Here's Koya Nakano. Square pass for Glasic from McGing. No Adrian Vlastelica, Sydney United captain, suspended. 5 yellow cards. Means a 1-week suspension as De Oliveira looks for Krislovic, and that is a lovely ball for Michael Krislovic, who goes down foul. Bevan's in trouble. Bevan will go for an early shower. 4th minute red card by Eric Saba. That seems incredibly harsh. Goran Ljuboja staring in disbelief. It didn't look as though there was much contact there. But enough for Krislovic to go down and enough for Saba to send Bevan off. Has to be the earliest red card of the season. This just throws his whole game plan straight out the window. And when you got the likes of De Oliveira, Farah Coco, and Mason Wells standing over the ball, this could be double trouble for the SD Raiders. This will be a proper test of the character of this SD Raiders team. And they hadn't started too bad either. And Michael Figueroa with the task on his hands now. It's Coco, and it's disappointing. And Ljuboja quickly calling over Charlie Ragg. He's changed from a back 3 to a back 4 now. Ljuboja. Quick instructions being given to Ragg, who has played all 3 games in the last 7 days. Leda McGrath in the centre of defence now. Hannigan and Ragg, right and left backs. Mako will slot into the middle alongside Mal Farah. Miki Marcic will push wide right and Fernandez to the left, while Malbasha will stay up top. And here's Fernandez, and brought down now by Glasic. The SD players asking for the same punishment. It won't be just a yellow for Glasic. Heavy challenge on Marty Fernandez, who remains on the ground. That's the right decision from Saba. Couldn't give that one a red. If he had judged there was contact from Bevan, that had to be a red in this situation. Glasic was not the last man. Yellow card. A fair punishment for the Sydney United central defender. Marty Fernandez, such an important part for Goran Ljuboja's team. Being a player that many have admired over the last few years. Didn't really hit the ground running last year at Blacktown City, but this year has been fantastic for Ljuboja. Not the biggest crowd of the season here at Sydney United Sports Centre this year. Quite disappointing for their fans, considering how high they are on the competition ladder. Their youth is playing away, though, in Newcastle, and could be a reason for the smaller crowd. Fernandez dusts himself off, and he'll take this set piece straight into the wall. Another disappointing effort. Both free kicks not as intended. Rag all the way back to Figuera, who slightly sliced that one. Tough one to bring down for Marčić. Ozanic straight into the back of Eric Saba. You'll be unhappy with something he saw. You'll need to be very vocal in order to keep organising his team. I think we'll see a lot of this for the rest of the game. Ball into De Oliveira. Wide now for Bailey Rule, wearing the captain's armband for United this afternoon. McGing out wide to Rule again. Central to De Oliveira, forward for Rule. Figuera should get there, he does. And I think we'll see a lot of this from the SD Raiders. Game management is ever so important now for the visiting side. Ozanic back for Nakano, who volleys one forward for De Oliveira. Over the top now, headed away by Rag. Back to the United number 10. Rule getting forward. And I wouldn't be surprised now if Miroslav at some point, not now, but in the second half, looks toward Ante Krilic on the bench for United. A bit more attacking than Koya Nakano, who has perhaps perhaps is a better defender than Krilic. In this situation, the left and right backs will be overlapping in overtime, trying to create overloads on either wing, in particular with the Raiders now down to 10. And you feel like a red card always so early in a game really hurts the fixture. And no fault of Eric Saba. I haven't had an opportunity to re-look at that red card, but something I definitely will try to do at some point in the broadcast. I think the contact was minimum, but there was contact, and there was contact there as well. Another yellow card for United. That's 2 yellows inside the first 11 minutes. This one going to Dylan Rose. And I think when you look at unsung heroes for teams over the years, in particular in this season, Dylan Rose, if there's been a player of the season that hasn't had his plaudits sung, that is the man. Has been key to so much of what City United has been able to deliver this year. Absolutely excellent in that number 6 role, both defensively and in possession. As Cooper Hannigan looks for Rag, headed away by Bailey Rule. Marty Fernandez couldn't get that one out of his feet, and Adam Pavlicic stops it from going out for a goal kick. And you look at the importance of sixers who don't get the attention they deserve. Eddie Casper's another at Apia, definitely in that same role. Week in, week out, giving not just average or solid performances, but very good performances as another ball from De Oliveira gets played through, and similarly to the last one, this time Figuera up higher. No need to make a foul, as Ethan Bevan did. Nakano back for Glasek. Rose forward to Farah Coco. One-on-one with Cooper Hannigan. And well defended by Hannigan. Tricky feet from Coco, not able to get away from the right back, who's running into trouble, but fouled by Coco. And a bit of an unnecessary kick out there from Cooper Hannigan. Known for a brain explosion or two. Needs to really be careful of what he does. Job's hard enough with 10, let alone going down to 9. And this is where I feel SD need to be careful. Michael Krislovic is one of the best pressing strikers in the league. I tell you what, I felt there was more contact there than for the red card to Ethan Bevan. Krislovic presses so well, hounds defenders and forces mistakes like that. Just as I was saying that, cross comes in toward Krislovic, and he got there ahead of Letta. He couldn't direct his header goalward. It was a great ball into the box too. Krislovic, a fan favourite here at the United Sports Centre. Figueroa goes short to Lockie McGrath, and McGrath again inviting the pressure. But Thomas Mako gets that out very well to Marcic, and Liam McGing had to get that right, did just that. McGrath plays it forward. I've just seen the video back of the red card. I have to say, I think how I saw it in real time, I've just seen it the exact same way in the replay. The contact was so minimal. I really do think it was harsh on Ethan Bevan. Nonetheless, as I said, if Eric Saba felt there was contact enough, he has to show the red, because Bevan was the last man there as Krislovic was streaming through. But to go down to 10 after just 3 minutes, so difficult. Here's Rule. Great ball forward for De Oliveira. Takes it in, but Letta stands his ground as De Oliveira loses his footing. Figueira sends it forward toward Malbashar. Hasn't seen much of the ball, and perhaps a little cold there with his touch. Working back now defensively, Yakov Malbashar scored a few key goals for the Raiders, and Krislovic goes down again. Again, a nothing ball that just tends to always chase down. Great turn from Marty Fernandez. Rose sticking with him nice and tight. Manages to get the ball out to Malbashar, who finds Malfarah. Couldn't find the pass back. Options are minimal for the SD Raiders when they move forward. Ozanic didn't connect with that as he would have liked, and Cooper Hannigan should be able to see that over the line. Classic for rule. McGing. United waiting for that opportunity to try and find a splitting pass. Switch ball for Koya Nakano. Nakano goes down and foul against Hannigan. And now United has an opportunity from a free kick in a pretty good position. Slightly inverted corner, I guess you could say. De Oliveira will take the free kick. Crowding Michael Figueira are these United players at the moment. De Oliveira goes direct. Marčić clears away. Clearance falls the way of Dylan Rose. Thought about getting it straight back into the box. Instead, plays out Bailey Rule. Nakano on the right side now. Good feet from Koya Nakano. Still Nakano. Got ahead of himself there. Perhaps too much. Rolls' cross is blocked. It'll go out for a throw. Vlasic centrally into Tommy Ozanic. Only 17 years old, Tomislav Ozanic. Apparently doesn't smile much at training in the role he plays. Quite menacing, I'd say. Persona is trying to build in midfield. Good to see Miro Vlastelica giving youngsters like him a go. Gabriel Tilo, lots of teenagers in the Sydney United team. And then the veterans like Michael Vlasic. Excellent mix. Here's Wells. Plays it back to Vlasic. Square for Liam McGing. Farah one-on-one with Hannigan. 10 players behind the ball for the SD Raiders as Vlasic drives forward, clips it toward Ozanic. Got a foot in there, Ozanic did in front of Hannigan. Cleared out by Miki Marčić. Jakov Malbaša, supposed to be the furthest forward SD Raiders player. He's standing just outside the box at the moment. Rule plays it in for De Oliveira, cleared by Rag. It's as deep a block as you can get at the moment that the SD Raiders are standing at. Dropping further and further back and just inviting the pressure from Sydney United right now. Malbaša steps out and we need to cut back in his zone quickly. Ball over the top for Ozanic. Figueira almost didn't get there. Ozanic stuck a boot out. SD Raiders keep it just there in time. Lots of football in the States top tier today. 4 games in fact. This one the first of those. At 3 p.m. Well, right now, first we'll just see what Marty Fernandez can do here. Charlie Ragg into the feet of Thomas Mako. Drives into the area. Still Mako. Afraid to make a challenge there was Dylan Rose. Thomas Maka cannot believe he did not get a corner there. Eric Saba was very confident in the court. Made it immediately. pointed to the goal kick. The other 3 games kick off at 3 o'clock. Blacktown take on RPL Leichhardt. Marconi just down the road hosting UNSW FC. And Sydney FC taking on the Wollongong Wolves. Ball over the top again, and at the moment the SD Raiders are dealing with that ball over the top pretty comfortably. Michael Figueira standing quite high, being able to pick up the ball as soon as it bounces into his area. Yesterday's game saw St. George defeat Spirit by 1-0. Johan Pedersen finding some form. 4 goals in his last 6 games for St. George. At the right time too, with the transfer window just around the corner. Perhaps saved his spots at St. George. Rockdale defeated Sydney Olympic 4-0. Manly secured a massive win against St. George Saints by 2-0. Massive win, that one. And Sutherland won 3-0 against the Western Sydney Wanderers. That win key for the Sharks, who are looking to cement their spot in the finals positions. As things stand, have a 4-point advantage on their closest rival. Malbasha intercepts that. Mako trying to turn away from Rose. Persistent Rose. As Wells in support. Rags' touch is heavy. Krislovic takes advantage, and United have won the ball back in the front third. Here's Bailey Rule. Low ball in. Back to De Oliveira. Headed away. And SD, I thought they were about to get out there. Instead, have lost the ball again. Now De Oliveira. Silly foul from Malfarra. De Oliveira was running in the wrong direction. Didn't need to come over the top of De Oliveira. United now able to send McGing and Glassick forward. De Oliveira to deliver now into the area. Low cross in. Falls to Ozanic. Back to Coco. Just over. Figueira looked quite comfortable seeing that one over the bar. I'll tell you what, it makes things a little difficult because of the situation that the Raiders are in, but Goran Joboja has some serious attacking talent on the bench. Robert Eramuga and Luka Knežević both on the substitutes bench. Joboja making some tactical changes. I think he'll be hoping just to get into the break with the score 0-0. That'll allow him to get his troops down, discuss some tactical options, and maybe set themselves up to try and get something on the break, because with Eramugo coming on in the second period, there's a lot of pace there. The technical ability from Luka Knežević isn't questionable either. They just need to get into the break without conceding a goal. Malbasha unable to hold the ball up there. They need to use him more as a hold-up man. That pass was wrong there from Ozanic. The wrong way for Krislovic to try and chase down. Mentioned transfer window. I'm sure both of these teams will be looking to add to their squads for different reasons. SD Raiders, even though they are flirting with a finals position, and particularly if they could get the 3 points here, but their main focus needs to be on survival this year. Need to try and find a little bit more depth just to ensure that they won't be needing to focus on the last couple rounds and their safety. They can start planning for 2027, but to achieve that, they really do need to find a couple more players. Have the Australia Cup to come as well. Hannigan needs to be careful here with Coco coming in at the back post. Good battle between those two on the far side, and Hannigan wins that one this time. Sydney United have the depth, but probably have the opportunity to sign another player or two. Adrian Knez, talented young midfielder, left his boyhood club in search of more first grade minutes. We're looking to replace him. Here's Glasek. Out to De Oliveira. Forward now for Wells. One-on-one here, Mason Wells crosses in early. Cleared away. Fernandez. Ball falls into the feet of De Oliveira. Cross across goal and cleared away by Cooper Hannigan. It was a great ball from De Oliveira. Coco was arriving at the back post, but cleared away at the vital moment. Here's Nakano. He crosses now into the box. That one hurt the head of McGrath. Played out wide by McGing. Farah Coco. Out wide to Koya Nakano. Ozanic tried to combine with Nakano, whose pressure earns him the ball back, but Mihail Marcic makes the challenge and wins the throw. Battling hard, the SD Raiders players, they'll need to battle for at least another 60 minutes. A man down. It will not be an easy task. Down to 10 from the third minute if you missed it. Ethan Bevan sent off for a last man challenge on Michael Krislovic. Handball there by Rose. Accidental. Needs to be careful. There's Dylan Rose on the yellow card, as is Michael Glasek. The longer the game stays like this as well, you feel as though the SD Raiders will gain confidence, maybe start to push players forward a little more. Although I do believe they'd probably, well, I mean, there's no doubt they'd be very happy to take at least a draw at the end. Ball out wide for Rag, who can't keep it in. Wasted free kick just as McGrath and James Letter both went forward, trying to put the United defence under a bit of pressure themselves. Rule with the throw. Mako wins the header. Wells plays it forward. McGrath had to be quick with Krislovic sneaking around. And Mako misses the ball and picks it up now on the second attempt. Gets it out now to Marcic, who has a go from distance. Shot blocked by McGing. And now Rule. This is the danger. These are the danger moments that the SD Raiders need to be aware of in transition. United can punish, particularly when they send the likes of Nakano and Bailey Rule forward. Rose to Rule. Wells forced back. Good defending from Charlie Ragg. Coco, one-on-one with Hannigan again. Has too much pace for Hannigan, who uses his body very well there to win the ball off Coco, and a clip there from Coco from behind. And again, the two of them come together. Coco reacted there to something that Cooper Hannigan had done. I've got no doubt Hannigan had made some movement toward toward Farah Coco. Coco's reaction upon getting up was aggressive as well. Interesting to see how Eric Saba deals with this situation. It looked as though Coco attempted to headbutt Hannigan as he got up. Headbutt him in the stomach. And there was a slight push from Hannigan on Farah Coco. I think Farah Coco is actually lucky to escape without a yellow card there. I understand why he reacted the way he did, but wasn't really a need for a reaction. Look at how frustrated his team weren't allowed to take that free kick early. Charlie Ragg had a lot of space on this left side. Switch now toward Marty Fernandez. Touched on by Glassick, and Rule cleans it up as Farah Coco changes sides now with Mason Wells. Till he calms down. Smart move there to get him away from Cooper Hannigan. Said they clashed a couple times already in this first half. Figuera out to Letta. Yakov Malvasha trying to flick the ball on there for Fernandez. Ozanic looking for the switch for either Krislic or Wells, and Krislic couldn't react there even though the ball was in his path. He was in an offside position, that's why he let it go. Figuera rolls it forward, searches for Fernandez. Bailey Rule reads that all the way. Now De Oliveira. Back to Bailey Rule. Those two playing their own game for a bit. Now Glassick looking to penetrate through the middle. Goes out wide to McGing. Nakano delivers. Rolls all the way through. Rag clears out for a throw. Got on Yulpa just having a look at the watch. Knows his team are close to getting into the break level. Nakano back to Rose. De Oliveira making a forward run. Rose crosses. Figuera sees it all the way. Comfortably claims that one. Nakano brings that down. United in possession once more. Forward for De Oliveira. As I said earlier, the ball over the top isn't really working. United struggling to find ways to break down this stubborn ST defence. Figuera slips over as he sends that forward to the delight of the home fans. Krislovic can't find the pass to Coco. United currently 4 points off for first place Apia Leichhardt, 2 points off second place Marconi Stallions. That derby coming up in a few weeks' time. It will be played at the Palace. Malfarah. As I was mentioning earlier, the SD Raiders are not far off sixth place, but also only 5 points from the playoff spot. That dreaded playoff where they'll need to come up against the second place team in Football League One, currently occupied by the Northern Tigers, but both the MacArthur Rams and Bankstown City, even Canterbury Bankstown, all very close to that second place. all with aspirations to play in that playoff game, and all have shown this season that they have the quality to cause teams some problems. Sydney Olympics' defeat yesterday really hurt their chances of survival. They will be busy in the transfer window, no doubt, looking to give themselves a fighting chance, but if Blacktown are able to get something from Apia today, St. George at the moment is second last in 15th place. That is because Blacktown is leading against Apia on the live ladder. Hannigan trying to get away from Wells. Excellent defending from Wells, but too many green shirts around. And now a rare chance, but Marty Fernandez couldn't find Cooper Hannigan. They might be short at the back now. The pass there from Glassick goes straight out for a throw. This relegation battle in the top tier is going to be a real roller coaster all up until the final day of the season. 6 points separate 7th to 15th. Incredible. That ball from Hannigan straight into the feet of Glassick. Farah Coco picks up the ball. Bailey Rule overlapping. Coco goes central. Wrong pass there. Mako got back all the way. It'll be interesting to see how he holds up, having played midweek. Thomas Mako for the second time today. Eric Saba in the way. This time after a pass from the visiting side. It was United that was denied earlier. Rag looking for Malbashar, who will get there. Good ball from Charlie Rag. Jakob Malbashar now looking to cross into the box, but cross blocked by Glassick. Figuera sweeping very high now, clearing away. Glassick heads it forward. Rose uses his body well. And now plays it out to De Oliveira. Carlos De Oliveira finds a pass to Ozanic, who goes wide to Wells. These are Mason Wells areas, and saved by Figuera. Believe it or not, that is probably Sydney United's best chance of the game so far. It's taken 42 minutes. Michael Figuera so far very comfortable, despite the Raiders being down to 10. They have defended valiantly this so far. Again, Matric working hard defensively to force the error, but the SD Raiders end up winning the ball back. Rag forward for Fernandez, who drops it off for the left back. Makeshift left back, I should say. Rag still driving forward, but defended well. United come back away with the ball. Rule can't get it out to Coco. Needs to settle for a throw. Ozanic changes sides and releases Mason Wells, but again, too close to Michael Figuera, who releases Cooper Hannigan early. Is this an opportunity for the Raiders to try and create something? Central pass to Malfarah, back out to Hannigan again. Malfarah finds Marty Fernandez. Dances away from a couple. And Rag with a very wayward switch there. But the Raiders keep the ball. Much is closed down by Ozanic, and that is probably the longest period since the red card that the ST Raiders have had possession of the ball. Hannigan searching for Mudrich. Almost got there, but McGing was across, saw the danger. Throw for the SD Raiders as we move into the 45th minute. Got a few players in the box to the away team. Hannigan with a long throw. Bounces down in the area. Coco clears. Krislovic brings it down. Coco closed down by McGrath. And now this is the transition moment. Krislovic has a go, but lifts it well over the bar. It was a great chance for the home team. Carlos De Oliveira was streaming through in support. Krislovic, as you'd expect your striker to, selfish there, but lifts it well over the bar. Those are the moments when the SD Raiders open up and try to create something. Always leave themselves susceptible to the fast transition. 1 minute of time will be added. A minimum of 1 minute, of course. Miro Lustelitz is asking the question. There was a red card. Why only 1 minute? This is working out perfectly. Almost perfect as the situation could be for the SD Raiders right now. Unless United can find a goal in the last few seconds of this first half. Here's Glasek. Is this the last attack of the first 45 minutes? Coco. Back to Glasek. Eric Sapa has a look at the watch. Rose. Allocated 1 minute has been played. Switch pass, Hannigan heads away, and that will be that. Half-time whistle sounds by Eric Saba.
Scoreline here at United Sports Centre. United 58-0, SD Raiders
after the first 45 minutes.
Progress scores from other grounds. Blackdown City 1,
An early red card
0.
Inside the third minute to Ethan Bevan has seen the SD Raiders have to find it out
1, Sydney FC
for
1.
almost 45 minutes with
And
10 men.
Marconi 0, Uni of New South Wales 0.
A very, very
In the World Cup, Japan are leading Tunisia by 2 goals
difficult
to
game
0
to
in
go
the
now
66th
for
minute.
the visiting side.
Ladies and gentlemen,
45
don't forget
minutes with
tomorrow
10
night
men
we
to
get to
go.
find out who Sydney United play in the round of 32 of the 2026 Australia Cup.
45 minutes.
And of course, we are in the
Sydney
final
United 0,
of the Waratah Cup
SD
against
Raiders
Apia.
0.
So look out for the socials for when that particular fixture will be. And our next home game here.
Sydney United regathering themselves for one last attack. One last raid on Manly United's goal before half-time. Coco's delivery, away by Neuenhoff, and Rule can strike them from there. Chimenti punishes the error. A hit and hope from Bailey Rule, not dealt with by Manly United. Find a goal in the last few minutes here or there. I won't have scored at home in more than 2 months. I could change that here to Robillard! Against his old club. It's a sweet strike.
Knocked away. I'll go again through Poon. Delivers into the middle. Pinball in the box. And it's Rocco Smith who delivers the blow. Up in the top 6 at the moment. Nudges the head of Smith. Soudis comes to find it. Fires! A rocket from Evan Soudis. And it is Poon goes direct. Does it trickle in? The second time around it did, if it needed it at all. We've seen this before from Jyden Harb. A nice delivery into the middle. Header in a dangerous position, and it's eventually Lopez who gets the final head on it. Home. Chris McStay, as Prendergast runs back, they're taking their time with it. St George FC, McStay off the left, buries it in the bottom corner. That breaks the drought. 13 games in a row, no win.
George City trying to build. Here's Demoto. Pedersen can turn and shoot and score! Goals in consecutive games for Jon Pedersen. And through goes Katrib. Don't forget that Jackson is on a yellow. Katrib down to Hasarati, and the shot from Chop. It'll be followed in here by Cameron! Jesse Cameron grabs an equaliser.
Turned over, and it's fallen to Travis Major right on the edge of the area. He lets it go, and off the post and in for Travis Major. You cannot give him space around the edge of the area. From Kodai Tanaka, and that's a good ball up ahead to another goal coming maybe for Travis Major, and he puts it away. The comeback on that day, it's Nick Olsen, chips it past with absolute composure. Ice cold from Nick Olsen to get the Sharks fans up and about here at Seymour Shore.
It is. Here's Costa Petrados to step up now. It's the run-up, taking the shot, and Costa Petrados slots it away and makes it 1-0 here at Christie Park. Nice and early. Carreras gets the right way, but the precision is Kobayashi, who's got space to run here. It's not a bad ball there. There's Spirit. Shots on, Petrados makes it 2! The counter-attack was there, and Costa Petrados makes it 2-0. To force, and Costa Petrados gets the hat-trick. He can take home the ball. A lovely flick, and it is 3-0.
That ball is good. Jordan's header, and it's in. Opening goal for Apia. Here's Farinella. Ortiz deflected shot, and it's looped into the goal. Dream start for Apia.
Here is Hannigan now, still with the ball. He goes out now, there's Rag. Cleared in. It's a back heel, and it's run into the back of the net! And it is a goal for SD Raiders. The substitute himself, Jakub Malbasa with the flick, makes it 1-0 to S.
And we're back here for the second half at Sydney United Sports Centre. 0-0 between Sydney United 58 and the SD Raiders. And things took a turn for the worse for the visitors. They had a red card inside the first 3 minutes of the game. Ethan Bevan seeing red for a apparent foul on Michael Krislovic. We have had changes at the break for both teams. Leroy Jennings has come on for Sydney United in place of Farah Coco.
Half-time replacement for Sydney United. Number 44, Farah Coco, has been replaced by number 7, Leroy Jennings.
Eramugo, Luka Knežević and Matthew Lee all coming on for the visitors. What I can see at the moment, Sebastian Malfara, Jakov Malbasha have been replaced. Let's see this through first here as Eramugo gets his first touch of the game. Closed down by both Bailey Rule and Mason Wells. Strong challenge from Lee there. Ball falls into the path of Luka Knežević. Now Marty Fernandez gets it out to Mihal Marčić. Good defending from Leroy Jennings and a foul there by...
Also at half-time, triple substitution for SD Raiders. Number 10, Luka Knežević. Number 37, Robert Eramogu. And number 15, Matthew Lee, have come onto the pitch.
Vlasic now for McGing. Thomas Mako was the third player to make way for the SD Raiders. Just repeating those. Thomas Mako off. Sebastian Malfara and Jakov Malbasha all coming off for the visitors. Replaced by Knežević, Lee and Eramugo. De Oliveira. Wells. Back for Vlasic. Rose looking for Nakano. Great touch from Nakano. Finds Krislovic. Leroy Jennings finds the bottom corner with what was probably his first touch of the game. What a goal from the substitute. It started with a fine touch
Goal
by
for Sydney United,
Koya
scored
Nakano
by the substitute, number 7,
finding
Leroy
Michael Krislovic
Jennings.
in the middle. Krislovic laying off for Jennings. And
Sydney United
Jennings
1,
blasting
lead,
home
SD
beyond
Raiders 0.
Figuera. And after going 42 minutes in the first half with a man down and not conceding, the SD Raiders concede after just 4 minutes of the second half. Jennings, who has had his problems with injury, over the last couple of years. Great to see him back on the football park. Great to see him scoring as well. Figuera clears that one forward. Wants a chase for Eramugo. Vlasic wasn't taking any chances and clears away. Lee back to Letta. Figuera plays it forward again. Apia has managed to find an equaliser at Landon Stadium, now 1-1 between Blacktown and Apia. Marconi lead against UNSW by 1-0. And Wollongong Wolves are up by 2-1 against Sydney FC, looking to break their losing streak as well. Called for Wells, and I feel like this is where the SD Raiders need to be careful. If they are to concede a quick second here, things could get ugly very quickly for them. Nakano, driven pass in toward De Oliveira. Eric Saba says it took a touch of James Letter. I have to agree with James Letter's complaints and arguments. I'm not sure that took a touch off him. Saba pointed to the corner immediately. In-swinger comes in. Flicked on at the near post by Lockie McGrath, I think it was. Perhaps even Marcic. Corner delivered. Held by Figuera. That one went higher up than what it did further forward. Ozanic gets the last touch there. Throw in for the Raiders. McGrath forward toward Marcic. Does well to bring that down, Mickey Marcic. And Hannigan getting mixed up there. Nakano for Krislovic, who gives the ball away similarly to Knežević as Marcic drives forward. Now Lee. Not many options in the box. Last touch off Vlasic. Sheepish calls for a handball there. I tell you what, Michael Vlasic could look guilty. That was the look he just gave there. Figuera closed down by Krislovic, and Krislovic lifts it over the bar. Again, that persistence from him forces the mistake from Figuera. And probably should have made it too. Fantastic work from him to win the ball. The finish though, not the best. Here's McGrath. Figueroa still hobbling after that collision with Krislovic. King wins the header. Rose turns away from Marty Fernandez and now plays in Mason Wells. Wells cuts in, crosses across the face of goal. De Oliveira couldn't get there. Jennings tried to pass that back apparently to Hannigan. Nakano back to McGing. Here's Rose. Playing that one forward toward Leroy Jennings. Jennings. Out to Ozanic. Now Nakano. Forward pass to Ozanic. Down 2 shots there. Tommy Ozanic. Goal kick. Rose to Bailey Rule. Now Wells crosses over the top. De Oliveira was a good cutback, but McGrath at the right place at the right time. And Hannigan just out-muscled there by Leroy Jennings. Too strong for the substitute. Hannigan again. Unnecessary. Standing over the top of Kuslic. Here's Rose. I'll keep the ball. Inside. Steve's half. Nakano. Cross comes in from Rose toward the back post. Touch there from Rag. Takes it out for a corner. Back to De Oliveira, and his shot was blocked there. Short corner, almost caught Steve Raiders unawares. Now De Oliveira to take the corner. After seeing his effort blocked. Cross comes in toward Nakano. Shouts from Figueira that he was held back there. Wanted a free kick. Didn't come from Eric Saba. Substitution again. Riley Cox-Barlow will come in for Mihal Marcic.
Coming on for SD Raiders, number 19, Cox-Barlow.
Figueira will send this long. Cox-Barlow, Knežević and Lee all attacking the same ball there. Now Wells. Wells as well. Foul, yellow card for Rag. Mason Wells, always a tricky customer. Another occasion too tricky for Charlie Rag. Gives himself a yellow card. Sydney United with a chance. Free kick. Another good and dangerous position. Cross comes in direct and Figueira had to react. Kristolic with the volley. Still not away. Ozanic thinks about the shot. Took a deflection. Cross comes in again. This time Marty Fernandez only as far as De Oliveira. Wells. Cross is blocked. to deliver this corner now. Can United find a second? In swinger, Figuera slapped at it. Got enough on it. Krislovic, though, battles hard once more. Back to De Oliveira. Over the bar. There's another good opportunity for the home team. They're starting to pile on now. Rag turns away from Wells. Couldn't release Eramugo. And how little of the ball have Eramugo and Knežević seen since coming on at the break. Even Marty Fernandez really unable to get on the ball. They've been pegged back so deep, have the SD Raiders, since that red card. Sitting in a very deep block. This might be a chance though through Riley Cox-Barlow. Knežević, rare touch for him. Back to Hannigan. Crossing with the left foot, easily dealt with by Rose. And now transitioning again United. Releasing Krislovic, gets there ahead of Figuera, or does he? Just enough of a touch from the keeper. Said the last touch came off Krislovic pretty adamantly there, Michael Figuera. The officials not interested, throwing the way of United. Nakano. Jennings finds De Oliveira in the area. Hannigan comes to help McGrath. This time foul from Jennings. For Rag, and Rag's clearance is blocked. Is this going to go in? Just wide, my word. That would have been one of the strangest goals I've ever witnessed. The old don't play the ball across goal. Played by the keeper who left an empty goal. Charlie Rag's clearance was blocked by Mason Wells, and Figuera was trying to, I think, even blow the ball wide of the goal because he was not getting there. It was so fortunate for him and the SD Raiders. Ozanic releasing Krislovic. Nakano. Lead forward. Knežević. Jennings. Now Nakano. Works its way out to De Oliveira. Straight into the hands of Figuera. Here's Jennings, gets it back, goes down. There was contact, but again, not enough, I'd say. I think Eric Saba made the right call. Headed there by Bailey Raw. Eramugo hasn't given up, and Pavlicic, good keeping. Rag has a chance, lifts it over, and the Pavlicic got back just in time. And just like that, the Raiders could have been level here. This is why United need a second goal. Oh, well, it's one goal of difference. SD still has an opportunity. Riley Cox-Barlow blocked off by Nakano. Gets the free kick. In a good position now as well for the SD Raiders. Letta and McGrath go forward. Eramugo strong in the air as well. What can Luka Knežević conjure here for Goran Ljubija's team? You feel as though going direct here isn't really an option. Crosses in, almost there. Arriving at the near post was James Letta. Riley Cox-Barlow had run himself into an offside position, ducked out of the way. It almost worked out. Knežević will take again. Can he find the player in a green jersey? Drives it in. Ball drops in a good position, but Marty Fernandez didn't get enough on that. United had all 11 players back in the box. Hannigan now searching, only finding Adam Pavlicic. The Raiders get back in numbers quickly. Substitution
Coming off for
Sydney
Sydney United, number 23, Mason Wells,
Gabriel
being
Tillot
replaced
coming
by
on
number
to
12,
replace
Gabriel
Mason
Tillot.
And apologies if for the stream going down, you wouldn't have missed too much. Bit of handbags between Charlie Ragg and Koya Nakano. The only real thing worth of note. Aside from that, Steve still trying to create one last opportunity to squeeze a point out of this one. Ragg plays it forward, Glasser clears away. And confusion there between Figueira and McGrath, and asking questions of one another as well. Jennings. Nakano loses out to Ragg. Lee. Hannigan does so well there, wins the free kick too, and him and Ozanic come together. Ozanic won't back down. Hannigan plays it forward for Cox Barlow, who's offside. Looked a good ball. Pavlicic will take this free kick, sends it forward. Hannigan heads it. McGrath helps it on its way in. As far as Jennings, De Oliveira. Rose can't get away from Ragg. Eramugo's the target here, and Bailey Rule and Glassick need to be careful. Almost ran into each other there, as Eramugo was waiting. For a mistake from the Sydney United defence. Forward to Eramugo. Just couldn't hold it up. Tilo, nice touch. Wants to play it back. Letta stepping through. Ozanic, good central pass to De Oliveira as Tomoki Wada and Ante Kulic prepared to come on. Ozanic again. Finds the pass to Rule, but McGrath spotted the danger, stepped out. How about that for a slide? Tackling block from Tommy Ozanic. And now Jennings thought he sprung the offside track. Assistant referee on the far side raised his flag as Tommy Ozanic gets a rest, replaced by Tomoki Wada. Bailey Rule.
Coming off for Sydney United, number 35, Tomislav Ozanic, and number 3, Bailey Rule. And coming on, number 8, Tomoki Wada. And number 16, Anthony Kvilic.
Cross block there. By Krilic, is playing as a right back now. Generally operates down the left. Started the season absolutely on fire. Had a number of dangerous attacks that led to assists down the left. Koya Nakano, irreplaceable at the moment for Middle Ustalitsa's side. Straight out by Krilic, says the referee. Throw in for the SD Raiders. Approaching those final moments now. Koya Nakano sends that one all the way into the kitchen at King Tom Club. As Zlatko Jaseski playing ball boy here. Goalkeeper coach for the SD Raiders. Hannigan looking for Rag. It's just too easy for United at the moment. As De Oliveira now can let Gabriel Tilo drive forward, but cross came Jet McHugh Shaw and did well to keep that in. Luka Knežević, haven't seen him often in the second half. Intercepted by Vlasic. Jennings. Close company from Cooper Hannigan. It's a tough one to bring down from Rose. Doesn't often make those sorts of errors. But not enough pressure on McGing to get anything from that mistake. Now De Oliveira back to Jennings. Here's Wada. Nakano. Japanese imports combined. I think United are happy now. To take the 1-goal win. And filled the threat coming from SD. McGrath. Lee lets it roll for Knežević. And now some space for Knežević, who has a go. Comfortable for Pavlicic, too far out to cause the United keeper any drama from that sort of distance. And Cooper Hannigan slips over, and that one sums it up in the end. There'll be a minimum of 3 minutes of time added on to.
Fourth official has put up 3 minutes of
clock.
Minimum additional time.
Letta plays it forward. Knežević can't get there. Eramugo can and releases Rag too. Not many players in the box. Rag slows things down, waits for the cavalry to arrive. Riley Cox-Barlow back out to Rag. Cross comes in. Eramugo at the far post. Pavlicic missed it. Eramugo got away from Kuric, but could not direct his effort goalwards. What a finish that could have been here at City United Sports Centre. We are frustrated on the Raiders bench, but you've got to feel for him and his side. They've played over 90 minutes, including stoppage, of course, with 10 men, and they've put a proper battle out, worked extremely hard all game, and still could get a reward for it. Eramugo comes together with Glassick, and both players stay down. Clash of heads. Eramugo had eyes only for the ball. Could be a bit of blood here as well. Both physios called on immediately. I can't imagine there'll be a card here for Eramugo. He had every right to go.
Progress scores from other grounds. Apia have just scored and they hit the lead against Blacktown, leading 2-1. Wollongong 2, Sydney FC 2, and Marconi 1, lead Uni of New South Wales 0.
As you may have heard from the ground announcer, progress scores around the grounds. Apia have turned things around at Landon Stadium and lead Blacktown by 2-1. Marconi is
Don't
still
forget, ladies and gentlemen, the next home game here is on Sunday, July 12, against traditional rivals Rockdale Illingdon, kicking off at 2:30 p.m. Look out tomorrow night for the Australia Cup round of 32 draw, and of course for the venue for the final of the Waratah Cup, with Sydney United playing Apia in the final of the Waratah Cup for 2026.
Glassick is down, still getting some attention. I'm not sure Glassick will be able to continue here, you know. There is about 90 seconds remaining in this game. They've called for a replacement shirt. Definitely blood. It was a heavy hit, but again, like I said, no real intent from Eramugo. He's come off it, okay? Despite making the contact, it's Glassick who's come off second best. Tommy Sharnuts was looking to come on to get the replacement jersey to Michael Glassick. Told by the assistant referee, can't go on. Maybe just wanted to get on camera. Sharnuts. Still down, Glassick. He's got blood on the shorts too. Needs to change his shorts as well. And Glassick is up on his feet now. Definitely got blood on the shorts. Change the shirt and the shorts now on the sideline, but like I said, means he'll be off the pitch for a couple seconds. I have to say though, very smart from the Sydney United physio. Anna Kadric taking her time getting off the field, giving enough time for Glassick to get changed. Michael Glassick thought he could come back on. But both Glassick and Eramugo are off the park at the moment. Eramugo still grabbing at the head. Both players will no doubt have a headache once the full-time whistle goes. It'll be a little bit easier for Glassick to take, considering United are not too far away from picking up 3 points here now. Is this the last chance SD will get? We're into the 7th minute of stoppage time, but like I said, the game was stopped for about 5. I do believe there'll be about 60 seconds left in this game. Hannigan sends it forward. No one there in a green jersey. And that throw-in from Hannigan straight into the feet of Rose. Good tackle from McGrath. City United throw. McGrath wins a header. Wada lets that go out for a corner. And that should be just about that for the home team. Well, take a big 3 points here. Stay within touching distance of the teams above them on the competition ladder. And that is the full-time whistle here.
The season for Sydney United, ladies and gentlemen, with a big 1-0 victory over
record
SD Raiders.
hard-fought 1-0
Thanks
win
so much for
over the SD Raiders.
We do look forward to seeing you back
An
here
SD Raiders
for the next
team
home
who
game
were
on
reduced to 10 men
Sunday, July
Devon
12
saw red in the
against
3rd minute
Rockdale
for a last-man challenge.
Sydney United are away on Friday night to
It was the
Sydney
substitute
FC
Leroy
at the
Jennings
Ellington
3
Sports
minutes
Centre.
after
We do
coming
want
on
to
at the
venture out
break.
there on Friday night.
Who
Thank you so
found
much,
what
ladies
would
and
be the
gentlemen,
subsequent
and we
winner
look forward to your attendance
with
at the
a
next Sydney United
well-struck
home
shot
match.
into the bottom corner of Michael Figueroa's goal. The Raiders pushed hard, worked hard, but couldn't find an equaliser. In the end, a well-earned win for the home team. Full-time here at Sydney United Sports Centre. Sydney United 1, SD Raiders 0.